Alright then guys, so welcome back to another video from Reef Drama, and as you can see we are in front of the 625 in the lounge, but this video is about the saltwater predator pond out in the fish house, and it is now starting to overflow into the sump, so that's brilliant news. So in this video we are going to be able to get that return pump turned on. We're going to get the salt added once it's up to temperature, and then also add the live sand. I've got a couple of pieces of equipment as well to show you. So without further ado, let's head out to the fish house and I'll show you how it's all coming along. All right then, as you can see now, we are properly getting some water going on in the sump, and it is obviously trickling in through into the bottom of the reef mat. Now the only reason why I'm doing this just with a little bit of this old fleece is just because on the top of the surface, don't know if you can see it, but there is a little bit of a like a scum line, I suppose, probably from the sand, you know, where the power head is switched on. So this is just, rather than just going all the way around the system continuously, it will go through at least the filter floss first, or the fleece, and hopefully, you know, try and sort of clear it up, I guess, to a certain extent. Now let's have a quick look down in here, because we are getting water, as you can see down in there. It's proper dripping in now, and if I have a little look down here, it is dry. So that means that my sealant that went across there is, at the moment at least, holding up. But yeah, you can sort of see the reflection of the Reef Drama sign there in the water, where the water's rippling and moving a little bit. And as I say, very small flow obviously at the moment, and that's just purely because it's literally just coming out of the RODI unit and not obviously, you know, pumped or anything at the moment. But this is pretty much what I believe the height is going to be. I may have to slightly adjust that, might want that slightly further into the water, so there is a straight sort of piece of pipe here, so I could always get that longer, and then that would drop that further into the water. And at the moment still we're only going over the edge of this one and not those two at the moment, but it won't really matter. As I say, it's only the RODI unit that's pretty much putting water into this, and not the 13,000 litre per hour Jabara pump that I've got at the end there. But yeah, happy days. Sump is starting to fill. Awesome job. I'll come back when there's, well, a bit more water in it. Right guys, so just an update around the plumbing here for the return. Now this is all now solvent welded into place, all here, and also this is connected to the pond, so that ain't going nowhere. And down here, if we can have a look around the corner, that has been solvent welded into there as well, but obviously I can still unscrew that from the actual pump, so that I can remove the pump, leave the pipe work in position, and then obviously clean the pump and put the pump back, or replace the pump, or whatever I need to do with it. So that's all done. I haven't kind of solvent welded this in yet, because I'm not too sure if I want this kind of configuration, or if I, you know, need to extend this down so this ends up, you know, lower into the water. But as it stands, the main bits are solvent welded, so I will be able to turn the pump on as soon as I can. Now we are getting there with the fill, really excited. Got that power head has been on, well, ever since the water was above it, really, keeping the RO water in there moving. And I've ordered the salt as well, so we've got 2 tubs of salt arriving tomorrow. And I've also, if I take you over here, show you as well a couple of new bits and pieces that I've purchased. So we've got 2 of these Fluval T300s, 2 of those, and then I've also got, what will run them is another one of these D&D dual heating and cooling controller. So I've already got one of these on the 625. Been very happy with it, and it's done me proud. And I've also got Fluval 300s on the 625 as well, but it's not the T series, it's the E series, which gives you the actual digital display temperature readout there rather than just the light. But this will be good enough for now, and I will actually be having another heat-in system that will be the main one to run the pond, and that Fluval and D&D setup will just be kind of a backup for it. But that video will be coming out at a later date, as and when I get it. But yeah, there we go. Still trickling over. Lovely jubbly. I can't wait to be able to turn the return pump on and get this system, well, running at least round on its own. Then we can start heating it and get it salted. Yeah. All right then, guys. So the pond has been filling, and it pretty much is full now. It's definitely gone over the overflow down into the sump, and it's started to fill up the sump. Well, what you're seeing now is just a very quick kind of B-roll of the progress of the pond being filled, and then obviously the sump then also coming up as well to almost the right level. Now the two heaters that I got the other day, and also the D&D Temperature Controller, I've just fitted those. Now everything is pretty much been loosely fitted, as you will see by the wires, because it's just kind of a bit of a mess. But I will be looking to get some sort of a cabinet on the wall that will house all the control panels, and obviously I'll also tidy up all the wiring as well. Probably put it into some sort of conduit or something coming down the wall, so it's obviously not quite as ugly as what it currently is. But the heater, I've got one heater in the pond, and I've got one heater in the sump. Now that's what I've done in my 625. So the actual temperature controller sensor is in the tank of the 625, and the same as the pond here, the sensor is also in the pond. So at least if there is ever kind of an issue with the return pump, then the sensor will be kind of still, you know, doing one heater in the actual pond itself. And then obviously then, you know, once I've fixed the return pump or whatever the problem is, then obviously both heaters would then come back into fruition. So it's a bit of a safeguard. I just think if you've got both your heaters and your temperature sensor in the sump, and you're having a problem with the return pump, then, you know, basically your tank then is allowing to be able to cool down, whereas the sump is all nice and toasty still with no problems. So that's my theory anyway behind it. And as I mentioned previously, there is going to be another heater system that will be the primary one, and what I've currently set up will be almost like a backup, I guess. But as you can see, the sump is pretty much now filled up. So what we're going to do is I'm going to basically flick on the return pump in real time. It could go massively wrong. I don't know, but we'll also turn on the temperature controller sensor as well, so you can sort of see all of that being flicked on. So let's spin you around and let's get this bad boy turned on. Let's go. All right then, so as we walk past the pond and we can see the return outlets there, just about touching the water, and then we've got the overflows over there. At the moment, it's just going down that little single one over there. These other two are just a couple of millimeters higher, but that won't matter when obviously the main return pump is on, which is down in there. As you can see, this is my kind of like little dry storage at the moment for the control panels, and you know, the wiring, as I mentioned, is a bit of a mess, but we will get that sorted. So there is one heater in between the two baffles, just there. And the other heater is over in this back right hand corner, and the sensor is tied to the wire of the return pump, sorry, the what's that, wave maker down there. So first of all, we've got two plugs up here that are both off. This one is the temperature controller, and then this one is the return pump. Just have a quick look down at the height that we're at with regards to the sump. So see the top of the actual sump is all the way up here where my finger is, and then at the moment, if you can see, the water level is just there, and you can see hopefully the baffle kind of in there where it's overflowing the first baffle and then going under that second baffle. So everything down here is tight and solvent welded. Everything here is all solvent welded here as well. But from this point onwards, no solvent welding. So it doesn't really matter if this suddenly flies off. Not that it's going to, it's on there very tight, but it would still obviously go into the water. So let's get it on. I don't know whether to, don't know where to put the pump. I don't know what speed it's all on. So we'll have to do this fairly quickly. So flick it on. Display comes up. Whee, there it is. Look at that. Yeah, definitely going to have to get that going underneath the water a bit more. But where are we with regards to the water level? So the sump is actually, yeah, it's completely drained it out. So let's turn this right down. I don't know what, it was all the way up to the maximum, I think. So let's whack this all the way down to its lowest, which I presume will be 30. Shame we can't press and hold your finger on it. You've got to keep pressing. There we go, 30. Wow, yeah, that was on maximum speed. But the sump is going over there. We've got the water pouring out there at the moment. That's fine. Let's have another look around here. As I say, this is all real time. Yeah, those three are going down there. What's happening in the sump? So we have got the water going into the reef mat only by the left hand side one. The right hand one is not connected. And we've got the second drain here just goes straight into the sump at the moment. The third drain is just going straight into the sump and will be anyway going forward. Fourth one's the emergency, which as we can see at the moment, without dipping the camera tripod into the water, that is where we are with regards to the distance at the moment anyway. Now to quieten these down, probably going to put 90s on them, but this is just kind of like seeing what it's all looking like and how it's all going to run. So yeah, definitely need to extend this here. So this is further into the water. Water down here is now above that that pump, so I probably will have to turn that up, but I'll do some measuring anyway. So wow, there we go. It all seems to be running. I'll have a little quick check round in a minute for any leaks, but so far so good. And that heater has come out of the water, so I'm going to have to make that a little bit more level rather than at that angle. Otherwise half of it's out of the water, as you can see. So I can't turn the temperature controller on just yet, which is just there, until I've dealt with that. So 2 seconds, I'll be back. All right then guys, so I have now turned this on and I've set it to 25 degrees, and I've also set it, let's have a quick look here, with a 0.3 kind of difference on both the temperature and also the fan. And then I've got, at the moment, I've set that to 5 degrees because that's the alarm. So it's 5 degrees out at the moment. So if I don't put that to 5 at the moment, it will just be constantly beeping at me. As you can see, the little light there is flashing. to let me know that it's alarming out. But I will set that for probably like, I don't know, maybe 1 degree. If it goes out by 1 degree, then it will start beeping at me. So that's how that's set up. Basically, again, exactly the same as the one I've got on the 625. So should, if it hits, what, 24.7, then heater will kick in to bring it back to 25. And if it goes to 25.3, then the fan, if and when I plug a fan in, will kick on. I don't know if I'm going to do that yet or not. So this is flowing. I've still got the RODI unit on, so it is still also pumping water into it, because I think I want this to be a little bit higher in its running kind of mode. And then when it's all shut down, then obviously the water then will rise up, and we've got to do those sort of tests. But I've also had a delivery today, so let's go and have a quick look at what we've had. Here we go, 2 big boxes of salts, and in one of them is also, not that one, this one is the Red Sea piece that I needed. I'll get it out, there we go. So that is the connector that I need to connect the hose that I bought for the double entry point, I suppose, into the 1200. So hopefully in there is what I'm going to require. And these are both, if I can find the handle. Here we go. Got the packaging out. So we've got 2 of these, which is what I'm running in the 625. Oh yeah. So that's going to be the next job once the pond has got up to 25 degrees, and I'll then start tipping this in slowly, try and get it up to the the right salinity. It's going to take at least 1 and I think maybe a half, 1.5, we'll see. Right then guys, so the pond is now up to temperature, and well, after, what was it, 29.5 hours of filling to get it to this point. This has now been running for over 24 hours. And remember that salt that I got as a delivery a couple of days ago? Well, that's what we're going to do now. So I'm going to start to put this salt in kind of like 1 bowl at a time, I suppose. I'm not going to dump the whole lot in, so that'll be a nightmare. So little and often, I reckon. But let's get that first bowl of salt into the pond. Can't wait for this. Let's switch you over so we can see what's going on. Okay, so we've got the bowl. Oh, by the way, this also come with a free ICP test. So both of them. It's on the front deck. Ta-da! There and there. So that was nice. Right, anyway, get the bowl into the salt. Try and get as much in there as I can. There we go. Nice big bowl of salt. Now then, where are we going to put it? I think we'll put it over the back there, because that's where the wave maker is. So here we go. The first of the salt being added in. Got some over here as well, where the return pump pumps back out. This is really cool to start doing this. Really happy about this. There we go. So yeah, I'll just keep basically doing that and keep testing it once I've got at least a bucket and a quarter in. So at least 1 1/4, and then I'll test it, and we'll see where we are. But yeah, that's pretty much cleared up nicely already. Now I have got to reduce that into the water still, and I need to also cut down these pipes so they're a bit lower, and then fit those 90s onto the top of them, because you can probably hear a bit of gurgling going on at the moment. So we'll get that sorted out as well, hopefully at some point. Right, I'm going to carry on banging the salt in here, get it to an actual saltwater pond rather than an RODI water pond. And I'll pick up the camera when we're virtually done. All right then, guys, so time has come to add the live sand that I got. If you remember, I had 2 bags of Caribsea Ocean Direct, and that's what I'm going to put into the pond now. Now, I'm going to quickly check the salinity again. I have already checked it once, and it is reading 1.026, which matches the tank in the lounge, my 625. You have to excuse my voice. I've got a bit of a sore throat. So I'm going to quickly check that again now, and then once that has been checked, I'll then start to add this sand. I'm going to turn off the pump and also the wave maker to do this, because I think it's going to probably be quite messy, shall we say, bit cloudy. But yeah, we'll wait and see, and we'll do it anyway with pretty much static water. And then once all the sand is in, then I'll turn the pump back on, and the wave maker and that. So let's get this tested, make sure again that it's 1.026, and I'll be right back with you. Right then, so we will turn it on. Get some water. Get rid of the air bubbles. Press read. 1.025. Okay, well, that will do. It was 1.026 earlier. Well, yesterday, but that's fine. So we shall continue, and we'll add the sand. Right, and so as you can probably see, everything is off. So I've got the bag sort of here. Let's see what happens when we start to submerge this into here. And then what we're going to want to do is kind of just walk it around in front of the camera now, but walk it around and just dump a layer really everywhere. It's not too bad as far as the fact that there's not too much dust. Oh, I kind of opened the hole up a bit bigger now, so now there's more coming out. It's harder now really to see where it's going, but nevertheless we'll get it in. That's the other bag down here. We'll give the bag a few squeezes. It's quite a bit of debris floating on the top of the water surface, which I'm sure you can see. Just try and get the rest of this now, if I can, over the back here. Past worrying now really about it making a mess. Let's just try and get the last of this little bit out. One bag down. Chuck that out the door. Let's get this second bag opened, and I'll get it in. There's not much point filming it because you're not really going to see anything, but trust me, the second bag is about to go in. Oh, there's that clarifier there floating around. I'll have to get that out in a sec. Right then, that's the second bag in, because there is now 1, 2 bags of clarifier there. Let's turn this all back on again. So this is the pump. No, that's the power head. That's the pump. Turn the pump on first. Leave the power head off for the moment because I'm not sure what the piles of sand inside looks like at the minute. So we will kind of mess around with the sand once I can see it. But for now, we'll just wait for all of this to go through the reef mat and try and basically clear it up, which will probably take a few hours, if not to the next day. But you can see how well this works with the water being pumped in from over there, and then it comes around. You can see the natural circulation, and then I've angled these, and then they go straight down those three. And then the water at the moment is not going down the overflow, the emergency, but the water level is right up to the top of it. So I will have to reduce or lower these three down so the water level isn't quite as high as what it is. But putting the 90s on kind of, I think, slowed the flow down, which is why the water then raised up a bit higher. But we'll get that sorted. It's just a bit of trial and error. But for now, we'll leave this to try and clear up. I'll have a look at this. I might add that, might not. Tomorrow, we'll come back in, we'll have a look. We'll see what this is looking like. And then we'll start bringing in some of the ceramic media from the sump in the 625 that's basically been in that tank. Well, some of it's been in there for absolutely ages. I would almost say years, because it originated from the 425. But I bought some Temu stuff that has been in that sump for, wow, at least a good few weeks. I will check to see what the date is that I put it in. But yeah, it should have some sort of bacteria on it now. So we'll see. Right, signing off. Back tomorrow. So I will add this clarifier. There you go. One. Can't do any harm, right? It says it's supposed to clear up the water nice and quick. So we'll give it a go. I think it's the first time I've ever used it. There we are. All in. Basically, read the instructions. Do not open with mouth. Make sure you open it with a pair of scissors. All right then. So here we go. With regards to how clear the pond is now, it's looking lovely. Look at that. You can see all the way to the bottom again. You can see all that lovely sand and rock and everything else. Well, as you can see, we are back in front of the 625 to finish off the video, and that's because I have an Aptasia update for you. And the update is, I still have Aptasia. But the good news is I have found some nudibranch eggs in a coil on one of the rocks. So that's really good. And hopefully that means that when they hatch, they will then be able to join the small army of nudibranchs that's already in the tank, and they'll all come together and they will start to eradicate the Aptasia that is still in there. So brilliant news. As for the saltwater pond, well, you've seen the progress so far on how we're getting on with that. And we obviously still have a few more bits and pieces to do, and that will be in the next video. But if you've made it this far, thank you very much for watching. And if you've liked the video, don't forget, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and press that little notification bell so you won't miss any further updates from me. And all that's left for me to say is thank you very much for watching, and I will see you on the next video. Bye for now.
Easy go.